In 1912, a Polish book dealer named Wilfrid Voynich purchased a manuscript from a Jesuit college outside Rome. He could not read a single word of it, neither could anyone else. For over a century, the most sophisticated codebreakers on Earth, including teams from both the American and British intelligence services during World War II, attempted to decipher it. Every one of them failed. But in 2024, something changed. Researchers using technology that did not exist 5 years earlier found something hidden inside it. Something that raises a question nobody in the field has been willing to answer directly. Why would someone in 1440 need to hide this? Wilfrid Voynich arrived at the Jesuit college outside Rome in 1912 expecting little more than another rare book. Instead, he left with a manuscript so strange, so stubbornly unreadable, that it would haunt scholars for generations. The pages, over 200 of them, were filled with looping, unfamiliar script and illustrations that defied identification. Voynich himself was no stranger to puzzles, but this was different. He spent years searching for someone who could read even a single word. No one could. As the manuscript changed hands and finally reached Yale's Voynich Library, the mystery only deepened. During World War II, the world's most celebrated codebreakers, men and women who cracked the ciphers of enemy nations, were given access to high-resolution photographs of the text. They mapped the symbols, ran frequency analyses, and compared the patterns to every known language and code. The result was always the same. Nothing made sense. The structure was too regular to be a hoax, too alien to match any known tongue. Decades passed. Linguists, cryptographers, and more recently, artificial intelligence systems all took their turn. Each time, the cipher held. Why would someone in the 1400s create a book that no one, not even the greatest minds of the modern age, could read? Why risk so much effort to keep its secrets hidden? Voynich's acquisition was just the beginning. The real question is not how the manuscript survived, but why its meaning was so carefully and so completely locked away. The Voynich Manuscript, housed in Yale's Voynich Library, is a puzzle of 240 vellum pages, each one crafted from goat skin, not paper. In 2009, the University of Arizona Laboratory of Tree Ring and Radiocarbon Dating removed tiny samples from 4 pages. Using accelerator mass spectrometry, they established a precise date range, 1404 to 1438. This anchors the manuscript in early 15th century Europe, just before the printing press. The laboratory's strict protocols ruled out contamination, extracting pure collagen from each leaf and measuring carbon decay. The results were consistent across the sampled pages, pointing to a single herd and a narrow window in time. The ink's composition, iron gall for writing, and copper-based and organic pigments for illustrations, matches what would have been available in a northern Italian scriptorium. The manuscript's structure, 6 quires of 32 leaves stitched in its original binding, confirms its unity. These findings close the door on later forgery. The Voynich's secrets were committed to vellum and ink nearly 6 centuries ago. Voynichese, as the script is now called, has become a battleground for competing theories and frustrated expertise. Linguists have mapped its glyphs, cryptographers have charted every loop and flourish, and computer scientists have run its text through the most advanced algorithms. Yet the code refuses to yield. The manuscript's words do not match any known language, ancient or modern. The patterns are too regular to be random, too structured to be a simple hoax, and yet no one can read them. Statistical analysis only deepens the puzzle. Voynich's words cluster with a frequency that mimics natural language. But the distribution of tokens, those recurring glyph groups, defies every known grammar. Some symbols appear hundreds of times, others only once. The way words repeat and change looks almost like a living tongue, but the rules behind them remain hidden. For decades, scholars have argued whether the script encodes a lost language, an elaborate cipher, or something else entirely. Each new method, each fresh attack, ends at the same impasse. The text remains unreadable, its message sealed away. With every failed attempt, the question sharpens. What kind of knowledge required this much protection? Why would an author go to such lengths to bury meaning so deeply? The deadlock has forced researchers to turn to new technologies, multispectral imaging, and advanced statistical modeling, searching for any overlooked trace that might finally break the code. Until then, the manuscript sits in its glass case, a silent challenge to every would-be reader. The Voynich Manuscript's survival defies logic. In 1599, it entered the Imperial Library of Rudolf II in Prague. Catalogued as a herbal book of unknown script and purchased for 600 ducats, a sum reserved for treasures. After Rudolf II died, his physician Johannes Marcus Marci inherited the codex and sent it to Athanasius Kircher, a Jesuit scholar in Rome. The Jesuits, renowned for their guarded archives, stored it in the Collegium Romanum, labeling it Codex Incomprehensibilis. When the Jesuit order was suppressed in the late 1700s, the manuscript quietly moved to Frascati, appearing in private ledgers. In 1903, the Jesuits discreetly sold several rare works, including the Voynich, to an anonymous buyer. Wilfrid Voynich's purchase in 1912 brought it into public awareness, though the transaction remained secretive. In 1969, Yale's Beinecke Library accessioned it as Manuscript 408. Across centuries of upheaval, the codex passed through imperial courts, Jesuit vaults, and clandestine sales, never lost, never explained. The Voynich manuscript unfolds across 6 distinct sections, each mapped out in a sequence that seems almost deliberate. The opening folios, numbered 1 through 68, form a botanical catalogue. Here, hundreds of plants crowd the vellum, each rendered with roots, leaves, and blossoms that defy identification. No known flora matches these drawings, yet their precision suggests a purpose beyond fantasy. Next come the astronomical pages marked by zodiac wheels and star charts. These are followed by a brief cosmological zone, where interlocking circles and swirling diagrams hint at lost systems of belief or science. But it is the 3rd and 5th sections, the biological and pharmaceutical zones, that draw the sharpest scrutiny from modern scholars. Folios 75 to 108 shift abruptly to scenes of nude women immersed in colored pools joined by tubes and vessels. The figures repeat, sometimes in chains, sometimes collecting fluids in strange contraptions. Then, from folio 108 onward, the pharmaceutical section begins. Jars, bottles, and bundles of herbs line the margins, paired with recipe-like columns of Voynich's script. The illustrations grow denser, the organization more tabular, as if cataloging remedies or procedures. The final pages, a so-called recipes section, abandon images almost entirely in favor of dense, continuous text. Every page is a riddle, but the evidence that now drives new interpretation, multispectral imaging, iconographic analysis, and the 2024 medical claims resides in these biological and pharmaceutical folios. Here, the codex's secrets are most tightly wound. If answers are to be found, they will be found in the bodies, the jars, and the encoded instructions that fill these central pages. In September 2024, a new round of multispectral imaging peeled back layers of the Voynich manuscript's first folio, revealing details missed by every previous generation. Under ultraviolet and infrared bands, 3 narrow columns of faded writing came into focus, 2 in Roman letters and 1 in Voynichese script. Lisa Fagan Davis, a leading medievalist, traced their paleographic signature to Johannes Marcus Marci, the 17th century Bohemian physician who once owned the codex. Why would Marci, centuries after the manuscript's creation, return to its opening page and add these columns? The imaging data shows he used a copper-based ink, distinct from the manuscript's original iron gall, and pressed his letters into the vellum with a heavier hand, as if determined to leave a mark even time could not erase. The columns themselves are not translations, but a kind of ciphered commentary, Marci's attempt to map the unknown script onto familiar Latin forms. His failure, now visible in spectral light, is a testament to the manuscript's enduring secrecy. Even those closest to its mysteries were compelled to leave their own coded traces, turning the Voynich into a palimpsest of failed readings and unanswered questions. Johannes Hartlieb, a court physician writing around 1420, offered a warning that still echoes across the centuries. He advised that anyone who prepared medicines for sterility should do so in a foreign tongue, lest disaster spread among the people. His advice was not abstract. In the cities of northern Italy, the threat was real. In 1432, Padua's inquisitors prosecuted a pharmacist named Girolamo Alessio for possessing recipes that could prevent conception. His ledger, coded with cryptic marks, became evidence against him. What did it mean to hold such knowledge in a world where the wrong book could end a career or a life? The stylistic fingerprints of the Voynich Manuscript, its script, its illustrations, even the pigments, point to this same region and era where Avicenna's medical texts traveled along trade routes and the Inquisition watched for any sign of forbidden science. Encryption was not a flourish. It was a shield, a way to protect knowledge that the Church called heresy, but women may have called survival. In this climate, a cipher was not just clever, it was necessary. Johannes Hartlieb, a court physician writing around 1420, offered a warning that echoes through the centuries. He warned that anyone who prepares medicines for sterility should do so in a foreign tongue, lest disaster spread among the people. His advice was not abstract. In the cities of northern Italy, the threat was real. In 1432, Padua inquisitors prosecuted a pharmacist named Girolamo Alessio for possessing recipes that could prevent conception. His ledger, coded with cryptic marks, became evidence against him. What did it mean to hold such knowledge in a world where the wrong book could end a career or a life? The stylistic fingerprints of the Voynich Manuscript, its script, its illustrations, and even its pigments point to this same region and era. Avicenna's medical texts traveled along trade routes, and the Inquisition watched for any sign of forbidden science. Encryption was not a flourish. It was a shield, a way to protect knowledge that the Church called heresy, but women may have called survival. In this climate, a cipher was not just clever, it was necessary. Today, the Voynich Manuscript remains unreadable, despite radiocarbon dating, multispectral scans, and world-class code breakers. What else have we encrypted, erased, or lost? When a cipher guards forbidden knowledge about women's bodies, are we protecting wisdom or burying it? What would you ask its creator?